So, Nuneaton, I suppose I have to deal with this. I was there the other day, and England has witnessed a rare convergence of two entirely different protest movements on the same day. Both have landed the government with the same headache: huge policing costs, public disruption, and the difficult question of whether the legislation behind these crackdowns is doing more harm than good. In Nuneaton and Bournemouth, hundreds have taken to the streets in anti immigration demonstrations. The Nuneaton protest was triggered by the arrest of two men reported but not confirmed by the police to be Afghan asylum seekers charged in connection with the rape of a 12-year-old girl. The council leader, George Finch, the Warwick council leader, and Reform UK's Nigel Farage have accused Warwickshire Police and the Home Office of a cover-up over the men's immigration status. Police deny this, citing national guidance, which avoids releasing ethnicity or status until the charge is formally laid. And the protests themselves carried familiar slogans: "Stop the boats, we want our country back," and banners asking, "What about our girls' human right to safety?" The crowd significantly outnumbered counter-demonstrators from Stand Up to Racism, who held placards reading "Stop the Far Right." There was a march through the town centre, music, chants, and inevitably the edge of menace that comes when opposing groups face each other under heavy police watch. Meanwhile, in London, a completely separate flashpoint: 200 arrests now in Parliament Square at a protest supporting Palestine Action, a prescribed organisation under the Terrorism Act 2000. The law is unambiguous. Membership of or support for Palestine Action could mean up to 14 years in prison. And this is not about Palestine in general, the Home Office insists, but about the group's tactics: direct actions against arms manufacturers, often involving trespass and damage, which of course is a form of violence. And yet the police images today tell a different story, a more troubling story. Elderly demonstrators quietly holding cardboard signs reading "I oppose genocide, I support Palestine Action," being led away under arrest. Human rights lawyers, Amnesty International, and many observers have warned that this skirts the line of international law obligations on free expression. I would say it very clearly: I don't support Palestine Action, but I think that Yvette Cooper's legislation is foolish in the extreme, and this is a hammer to crack a walnut. What was the line about crushing a butterfly? The Alexander Pope line. Anyway, that's it. But the damage this is doing, when you need that law, it won't be available because it has been cheapened by the stupidity of the current Home Secretary. And now here's the common thread. And whatever you think of the cause, whether you believe the Nuneaton protests are righteous anger, misdirected rage, or far-right opportunism, whether you think Palestine Action is a legitimate anti-arms trade campaign or a dangerous extremist group, the practical outcome for the taxpayer is the same: thousands of police officers, including riot units, pulled in from across the country, overtime bills spiralling, prisoner processing centres opened for non-violent offences, logistics to hold, charge and bail hundreds of people. In London alone, the Met had to ship in officers from Wales. In total across the UK today, more than 3,000 riot officers were on standby. This is not free. The public purse, already under strain from a cost of living crisis exacerbated by Treasury missteps, is footing the bill. And what is the return? At best, a show of government resolve. At worst, a spiral of grievance and policing operations that end up looking more political than public safety driven. The Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, has pushed for more police transparency on suspects' details, but she's also the architect of the Palestine Action ban. Nigel Farage demands that immigration status be disclosed in all serious charges, an idea popular with parts of the public, but one that courts and policing guidance have long resisted for fear of prejudicing trials or inflaming tensions. The irony is that the resources being used to contain these protests could be redirected to address the root problems. The hotel costs for asylum seekers are vast, £8 million a day at their peak, yet the Home Office's processing backlog is what keeps people in limbo. A small fraction of the protest policing budget could fund more caseworkers to resolve the claims, integrate genuine refugees, and remove those with no right to stay. Instead, we have legislation designed for headlines, banning a protest group here, demanding public naming of asylum status suspects there. That produces a cascade of street-level confrontations. We have a Home Office spending money on policing expressions of public opinion, and a Treasury failing to fund the administrative machinery that might reduce the anger in the first place. What can we say except this government is unbelievably stupid? It's continuing a level of stupidity set up by the last government under Priti Patel and Suella Braverman and then Sajid Javid. All of these people had the opportunity to do something useful. None of them have. The lesson from today's twin dramas in Nuneaton and Westminster is not that Britain should crack down harder or that it should throw the gates open. It's that reactive symbolic policy making is an expensive luxury in an era when public finances cannot bear it, and when law becomes theatre, the stage hands are the police, the audience is the press, and the bill is sent to the taxpayer. That, more than the chants of "stop the boats" or "love not hate," is the sound that we should all be listening to, the clink-clink of the money in our pockets going to the government. For what? For what? For more nonsense.